Hello, Outlanders! Please let us know if you can hear us all okay, and then we'll jump right into the stream. Okay, that was really quick. Really quick confirmation. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Alright, everyone, so welcome to our stream. My name is Forsythia, or you may know me as Anjanette. I'm the Senior Community Manager for Vigor. And today we have two lovely guests with us. We have Viktor, who is our environment designer.
Hello, guys.
And we have Tony, who is our marketing specialist.
Hello.
So we have some familiar faces, perhaps, but you know, we might have some Outlanders who maybe are new to the game, who haven't stopped by our streams, so we'll also get into some introductions in just a second. Meanwhile, just going to check other chats as well, like Facebook and YouTube, to see that everything is going all okay. Alright, some people saying hello. This is awesome. Alright, great. So let's get into it, shall we? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Anyways, let's get into it. So who would like to start with some introductions about themselves? We're both looking at you, sorry.
Hello, guys. My name is Viktor. I am the environment designer on Vigor. And also, maybe I can say for Myren, the new level.
Yeah, Viktor here is the, let's say, master of making maps right now.
Let's say I'm making maps. Yeah.
that's the easy way to say it. Yeah. You make maps.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So actually, today we have Viktor with us, so we could go a bit more into a deep dive about Myren, because it would probably be interesting for our Outlanders to hear how the process went and how it went about and how it became how it is now. All right, and we've got people already pointing out your Brno shirt.
that didn't last long.
That was clear.
Brno represent, of course.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we'll get into more questions later. Thank you, Viktor, for the introduction.
Yes.
Tony, take it away. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name's Tony. I am from the lovely island of Cyprus, and I work as a marketing specialist for Vigor. That includes writing the update blogs that you guys see on our webpage with every update, the change logs, some newsletters if you're subscribed, and every now and again I get to do some cool creative stuff like work on the cinematic trailers. And with regards to this season specifically, I got to work on the cassettes.
Yep, so we will be diving into the cassettes as well with this stream. But first, maybe something quite important to say is that we released update 14.1 today. If you've missed it, our changelog is available on our website. You'll actually see it as an addition underneath the 14.0 changelog, which you can also see on our screen. Basically, we were trying to do the change that we promised, which was that our minor updates, like 14.1, will be more focused on fixes and tweaks rather than features. So we were catching some bugs and we were trying to fix them as fast as we can for this update. So we hope that you enjoy it. We've already got a few comments about the crates, because we have indeed rebalanced the crates in the game. If I could just ask you to open the crafting for weapons, Tony?
Yes.
So a few things that we've noticed on social media were that players were saying that we nerfed the crates, which is not the case at all. We rebalanced them so that you have more opportunities to gain experience, and it will help you then level up your battle pass, the live battle pass, the legacy seasons battle passes. It will help you out in that, because you could also get more crates through the crates, and weapon parts and consumables parts are also more prevalent, let's say, in the crates. We didn't necessarily take away things, we simply added a bigger pool for you all to receive more things. Interesting divide here on the chat, where people were saying that there was a buff to shoot out crates, but crates are not balanced anymore, it's not worth getting a crate. Please do feel free to let us know why you think it's not worth getting any crates anymore. And yeah, the reason why I asked Tony to actually, well, I forgot to show it onto the screen. Thank you for that. But yes, so one of the things that we saw on social media were that players were saying that we took away weapons and instead we gave them weapon parts and thus they will have to spend to craft. That is not the case at all. We actually gave weapon parts because when you have weapon parts, you can instantly craft weapons, so you don't actually need to wait or spend any money or anything. You just instantly craft when you have the parts. And there are questions. You took away weapon skin rewards to shootout crates. Are you serious? We didn't take them away. The rewards are just a little bit more tweaked. Shootout crates will give rewards that are more reflective of what you can use in shootout matches. So like the weapons, the consumables that you are likely to use in shootout is what you will be getting. Same goes with elimination crates. The weapons and the consumables that you interact with the most in elimination will be more prevalent in those crates as well. We do still give out weapon parts and weapons, just that we added more things into the pool so that you have a more varied chance of getting different things. In essence, you will end up still getting the weapons, you just have to craft them through the parts, but the parts will help you get the weapons. So there's that, and not to mention the fact that you can get more XP by getting and opening more crates through crateception, basically. All right, let's see what the chat has to say on other platforms as well about that. I really wanted to get that out of the way because we saw that immediately after the update came out.
Plus, it's also like a fair point to make that the update just went out. So
yeah, it's been like a couple of hours.
It's been a couple of hours, right? So let's not jump into any rash conclusions without having a proper idea of what is happening, right? We just can't jump on any fresh whim or idea or opinion as soon as an update launches. It makes sense that we need to give it a bit more time. And if indeed players are not happy about this change, we can always discuss it again and see what we can do.
Yep, indeed. And actually we have some statements on YouTube as well. Weapon parts are very useful to complete daily challenges, which ask you to craft certain weapon types. So there's that. We're basically trying to help you out with completing other challenges. So please keep that in mind. It's literally been a few hours, and we hope that with time you will understand, or you will reap the fruits of our labor through this change that we've made. All right, let's see what else the chat is saying. Okay. Please, let's talk about the vote to kick system. It's being abused badly, and while it eliminated the AFK problem, it brought a bigger problem. We hear you about that. We understand that there are some tweaks that need to be made with the vote to kick system, and we are working on something that will be released in a future update. It's in process right now. We discussed it with the team almost immediately after the update released because we heard the uproar from the community, and we will be making some changes in the future. Thank you for that, and sorry that not everyone is using the system as it should be.
Yeah, it was definitely not our intention to have it used this way. But since it is causing an issue, it's definitely been brought into our attention, and we've definitely discussed it within the team. And we know something has to be done. So just wait for a future update, and
we'll get there.
We'll get there, yes.
All right. Now, that is some information. This was an informative start to the stream, but there's even more information coming because we would like to definitely talk about... Well, what do we want to start with, Myren or the cassettes? I think that Myren might be on rotation now.
Let's check. Yes!
Okay.
There we go.
Nice.
There we go.
Feel free to queue up for Myren.
I'll queue up, and I'm gonna go hard mode.
Without headset, you
Without headset, just pure instinct. That's gonna get me killed.
Well, some people hone their instincts, so maybe you'll be fine, I'm sure.
Outlands is the best way to actually harness your instinct.
Yes, indeed. But we're on shootout, so...
It's still part of the Outlands.
That's true, yep. So while Tony is queuing up on Shootout, so Victor, the questions shall now begin about Myren. Let's see, like, since you worked on Myren, could you probably start with discussing what the inspiration behind it was or how it was conceived as a map?
Yes, it was at first it was conceived to be like visually somewhat different from our other maps. So we picked the Norway USSR border. It's sort of like swampy tundra. Like for the means of shootout, we had to add some more like trees and rocks to sort of guard it out. But it's basically inspired by the real place of the actual border between Norway and Russia or USSR. But as well as that, it's sort of, we took some inspiration here and there. Like for example, in the shootout map, you're obviously on the Soviet part of the border. So this warehouse and the checkpoint is like not the warehouse. That's like a utility building, but the big checkpoint is inspired by the huge brutalist monuments of communism. So it was fine designing it. Like it's this big canopy with concrete cladding. It's all very damaged because the border had heavy military presence on both sides. So like when the conflict started, they just...
It would basically be the outcomes of what conflict can cause.
Yeah, there just a huge battle took place in here, and you can sort of see it. But yeah, it's mainly this huge border checkpoint. The other buildings are in the distance. They are inspired by the real place as well. But yeah, it's sort of here and there, sort of a remix of few things.
Okay, that's really cool actually, and I really like how the details play in, like, and now it makes even more sense when you mentioned that it's because this is at the border and there was some conflict that happened there, hence how worn out the concrete is on the toll. Is it a toll station? Or
it's sort of a border checkpoint.
Okay.
The customs building and the border patrol station, they are the other two buildings on the far end of the fence. Yeah.
Okay. So stuff that our Outlanders can already see but not yet mess around in.
Not yet.
Okay, soon though. We actually did have a question earlier on from the chat about Myren, if it will end up in an encounter map, which...
Yes, it will.
Yes!
It will. It will lose some of the cliffs and rocks that are surrounding this shootout area. It will be a little bit different, but yeah, it will definitely be an encounter map.
And there is a follow-up question about the Myren encounter map, if players will be able to go into the power station?
Oh, the power station, yeah. Not to disappoint you, but the power station is so far away. It's just a sort of background prop.
It's a landscape.
Yeah.
It's a part of the landscape.
It's part of the landscape. It's so far away. It's not gonna be playable, sadly.
All right. Well, at least they get to enjoy how
we have to end somewhere with the level. So yeah.
All right.
Like the background is quite crazy all around. Like the huge mountains. They are not. For example, they're not part of the real place on the Norway-Russia border, so yeah, it's a little bits of here and there.
Yeah, it's visualization, basically. And we do have another comment about the Myren map. I'm sorry, I can't read today, it's the end of the day. Honorable Bandits says that they love how this map feels like a war zone, and that they would love to see other maps get a war-torn update in the future. How do you feel about that, Viktor? Or do you think that Myren is specific in its war-torn feeling and it wouldn't really carry on to other places due to the history, as you mentioned, or like...
Well, I think we have a few bits of military equipment on all our other maps, but this was sort of conceived from the beginning as a huge sort of plains battlefield where it's like the main sort of theme, this battle that took place. Like I don't know exactly. The other maps are, you know, dotted around Norway, which we are sort of like they're supposed to be the livable places for Outlanders. Sort of. This is like maybe like where it all started, and that's like the unique point of this map. Let's say.
All right, fair enough. Thank you, Viktor, for that. Hopefully it answers the question that was brought up. There is a nice comment from the YouTube chat saying, I will say it again, Viktor's map skills are amazing. So you see, you are master map maker.
I must say, not entirely just my work, this map,
It was
anyway, thank you.
Effort.
It's a team effort always, but thank you anyway.
And there's also another question for you, Viktor. Can you create a city map? Would it be possible?
Yeah, a city map. It would be nice, but
it would probably be a bit tough because there's going to be a lot of things to put in there, like structures and
like a lot of new houses. If you can tell, like from all the other maps, we have a few houses. I don't know if we'll be able to like put together a whole city. Like, we are keeping it to like a smaller settlements because of that, but definitely some more urban environment will be nice addition. That's definitely
it would be cool. Yep. Awesome. And yes, there are people echoing your sentiments about that. It would be awesome. It would be good.
nice.
All right. Let's see what else the chat has to say before we move on to some more questions. There is a question. Did you all fix the ammo disappearing when reloading? Yes, indeed.
Yes, it's fixed.
It was one of the bug fixes that we really wanted to squeeze in for update 14.0, but sadly we couldn't make it. That's why, and we were telling it to our players as well, that we would like to get it fixed with the minor update. And here it is. It's out, so hopefully it shouldn't be happening anymore. But if you do run into any issues with the ammo, just let us know and we will report it to the team. Alright, let's see what else the chats have to say. But yeah, there's some conversations about things in the shelter, like a cat or a dog, or if we could have a shelter DLC. Both points, by the way, like having a pet in the shelter or having a shelter DLC, they're both not currently planned, but we'll see what the future holds. Things might change, but right now we are not working on it. Alright, and so I guess we could jump into more questions if you're okay with that, Viktor. Could we maybe know, because as you mentioned, shootout for Myren is quite different in terms of how you had to end the fences and the shootout map somewhere. What would you say was the toughest part of working on Myren for shootout?
Yeah, we had to do a lot of iterations because the playtesting showed a lot of weak points or very, very strong points, which is like I don't know, we internally called it the camper's office, which, as you can probably guess, is in the warehouse upstairs, which was such an OP spot. And there were a lot of them. So the shootout map is the shootout variant of Myren is like a little bit limited in where you can climb up and have vantage points. So yeah, that I think will stay just for the shootout. Because yeah, it just showed it was too unbalanced, and also like the size of the map changed quite drastically and many times, because number of players, it was either nothing was happening or it was
Too much was happening.
like a complete brawl. So yeah, there was a lot of fine-tuning, a lot of iterating. So but I'm like really happy with as I've seen many videos and how you guys are playing it. I think it's in a good spot now, hopefully. With the 10 players, yeah, that was like the final tweak, which gave it this like nice balance between, you have time to reload, you have time to, heal yourself, and you like don't need to really look that hard for any opponents. So
True, like having 10 people definitely like is noticeable how nicely it fits in that map.
It's the sweet spot, I think.
Yes.
All right, but so that was the difficult part about Myren. What would you say you enjoyed the most, though, with working on Myren? What was your favorite part on when you were in the process of working on the map for Shootout? I mean,
yeah, I love making these covers and obstacles with just piles of garbage and like lots of small detail, like for it to be sort of intuitive and useful, but at the same time not to have a really like overpowered spot. Just like balance it, and then the final polish. I really enjoy the like sort of empty, deserted look of the place when it's being grown over by all the vegetation.
Yeah.
Like
it's very like post-apo, like definitely more.
Yeah, like grass growing in the cracks of the pavement, the roads and everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was fun doing these details and polishing the visuals.
okay, interesting. And maybe which one did you start working on first? Would it be the structures that are there first, or did you prefer to work on the clutter first? But I assume that logically it would be the big structures first.
Yeah, the big structures took a lot of time to create, and yeah, they were in place like long before all those details and all the small like modification got there. So
Okay. And let's see what the chat has to say. Maybe there are some questions for Viktor, which, yeah, there's an interesting one already. Since maybe it's not just for you, but maybe a general one. Since we're talking about players about numbers on the map, how about increasing Grontheim to 10 or 12 players? I mean, how would you feel about that, considering how we talked about looking for the right number for Shootout on Myren? Would you say that right now Grontheim is quite optimized at about 8 rather than 10 or 12? Or do you think that Valley is just too small of a map to have 12?
like Grontheim, there's the thing with Grontheim that it doesn't look like it because it's U-shaped, but it's quite linear, narrow map. But it is also pretty big, so yeah, that's maybe one thing to consider. We can try it out. Thing with more than 10 players is
it's gonna be a bloodbath, isn't it? Like
that's one thing, and the other thing is I'm not sure. I don't wanna sound official.
Don't Viktor on this.
But I think not everybody would be visible in the lobby. It would.
Yeah.
To narrow the screen, so we would have to like rework some stuff. I think. Yeah, don't quote me on that.
Okay, well, still though, some info is nice.
That's not my specialty.
Okay.
This thing.
Fair enough. Still a bit of info would be nice. And now there's the question of what about Grontheim winter map?
Wow.
Yeah. It's been considered. It's been tried a little bit. The thing with winter maps is it's not like just switching textures to winter stuff. If it's gonna look like a Norwegian winter, there's gonna be a big pile of snow. So all the terrain, all the landscape needs to be tweaked a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Which would take some time.
Yeah, there are definitely some considerations for switching some maps to their either summer or winter variants.
And there's even one being suggested right now, Viktor Station in summer.
Fun fact: it was originally conceived as a summer map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are, as I said, those are or have been considered, but decided to do the new maps first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
maybe we'll get to them sometimes.
Yeah,
probably.
Exactly.
Hopefully,
we'll see what the future holds. I'm pretty sure that the community would enjoy it, and we'd probably definitely enjoy testing it and going through what can be improved with it. So it will be interesting.
Yeah, so definitely switching a map from winter to summer would be easier than making a new map.
But new maps are higher tier than
some of them were already in in production a long time. So yeah.
Alright, let's see what our other chats have to say, actually. Meanwhile... Alright. There is a question where one of our players is talking about an R2 bug and that they would have lots of clips, and they're asking where would they send them. Please send them to our social media. This isn't just specific for this specific bug, but really any issue that you encounter. It would be better if we have some clips, because that's how we are able to see more details than you would probably see. A clip would encompass probably what happened right before the issue happened and what happened during and what the aftermath was. So it would be better for us to see a clip for sure. So feel free to post it on or send it to us on our social media. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Discord. We also have forums. So yeah, there's a lot of places, I think, and I bet I didn't even name all of them in one go yet, but yeah, we have a lot. We're almost everywhere. You can even report bugs to us on TikTok if you would like. We would really appreciate any and all of your reports. Alright, let's see. Oh, and we have some questions about the partnership program. Yes, that's one thing that I also wanted to mention early on, which I forgot, but I will get to it now. Thank you for all of those Outlanders who sent us their applications for the Vigor partnership, because we added we made a change where we have partnership tiers. So we have the Prepper partnership and the Survivalist partners or Survivalist partnership, each having different requirements. And we were amazed by the influx of applicants, and the team has been working really hard on going through them. Oh, yikes.
I'm getting annihilated here.
Close.
But yeah, so about the partnership program, we are happy that we received so many applicants and applications in such a short time. We were assessing them, and we will probably start letting some of the applicants know more, probably, if not towards the end of this week, I guess soon. I would say towards the end of this week we will be contacting other applicants. We already have started contacting some of them, but hopefully we'll get it done by the end of this week, so stay tuned. Alright. And let's see what the Vigor chat is saying as well. I think this is some advice for you, Tony.
Yeah.
Run, jump, you make less sound. rather than running continuously. But it also makes it a little bit difficult to aim, so...
Yeah, I have to say, I suck at this, right? I'm not
But you're also playing in hard mode.
Also, when you play without sound, you don't carry out.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit, like, I kind of suck, right? This is, like, not the thing for me. It's fine. It's okay.
But you're having fun.
I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm having fun. At least, until I get 1 kill, I'll be happy. If I get 1 kill, just 1 kill. Thank you! Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated.
That was
I
nice.
don't know if it was on purpose or, like, I was
It
kind
might be
of... I got him.
because some people are watching our stream at the same time as we're playing. I mean, we've got a little bit of a delay while we're streaming, but it's not too much, you know, so there's that.
Yeah, I got my kill. I'm happy. Like, I can like keep dying like 13 million more times at this point. I don't care.
Oh, you're keeping count.
No, not even in the slightest.
All right. But yes, just side note for our Outlanders watching the stream, if you have any more questions about Myren for Viktor, please feel free to send them in the chat so that Viktor can attempt to answer them. Alright, and we've also got a question about Legacy Seasons, that they would like the bonus XP back. Can we get bonus XP on Legacy Passes until the end of the season since they are being removed? Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, I got worried that you were going to say something or you were going to...
No, I had a bit of a drive-through, actually.
Okay, alright.
Not raging yet.
No.
Not yet, we'll wait for that later. Probably after this.
Behind the scenes.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so this question about bonus XP on Legacy Passes until the end of the season since they are being removed. We actually didn't remove them, like, well, no, let me rephrase that. We removed them because it wasn't actually the way that it was intended. It was not a feature that bonus XP was affecting Legacy Seasons. So Legacy Seasons are tougher to grind, but also we are kind of helping you out by double XPs.
Dude, if
You can get more XP by looting more in the Outlands. You can also get more XP by opening more crates, which, by the way, please remember to turn on the progression for your Legacy Season Battle Pass, because some people are saying that they weren't able to level up. It didn't show up that they leveled up even though they wanted to, but it's because the progression wasn't turned on. So please remember to turn on the progression for it. And just remember that we will take some time to start disabling Legacy Seasons, so you still have like at least until after update 15.0, so that's quite some time there. So good luck with that. And we do have a question real quick. It was already discussed earlier, but because we did release update 14.1 today, it makes sense why this question is coming out, which is why did we rework the crates? We rebalanced the crates, which is a little bit of a different case, like especially in game dev when you talk about reworking versus rebalancing.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
For sure, yeah. So with balancing the crates, we wanted to add more things into the pool to help Outlanders. So, for example, you will be able to craft more weapons because you get weapon parts more abundantly. We didn't necessarily remove anything, we just added more things for you to obtain from the loot. And the shootout crates and the elimination crates are more, let's say, modified to benefit you in terms of the game modes. So like you're more likely to have some practice with consumables or weapons that you get in shootout, that you use in shootout, so you could try to use them in encounters. Same goes for eliminations. So we didn't rework them, we rebalanced them by adding more loot and more chances for you to get a different set of loot, actually. And there is this question about, well, it's not a question, it was a statement, too much weapon parts, lol. Well, the best part is that weapon parts help you craft weapons, and you don't even have to wait or anything. It's an instant craft.
That's true, and like the more you have, the more weapons you can craft in the end, and just like craft them instantly with parts. So the more you have, the more beneficial it's going to be for you in the long term, I guess.
But there's also, as mentioned earlier by one of our players, that there are challenges that ask you to craft specific weapon types. So these weapon types will help you fulfill those challenges and complete them. So there's that. And I wanted to get back into the game, perhaps, but before we do, there is a question for Viktor about Brno. We need to talk about Brno, but, like, what would you like to talk about?
I'm representing my home city.
There we go.
And the city we're all living and working in. But Viktor has been living here for longer than all of us, because you've basically lived here your whole life, so...
It says Brno. Get your minds out of the gutter.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that was a thing. I saw it in the chat earlier, though.
Yeah, that reference was made.
Yeah.
Sorry about that ban, yeah, right?
I don't think they were banned. I think that their message was just held back or, like, filtered.
So the rule just...
Alright. And we did have some questions already for Tony, actually, about the cassettes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you would like, I think that it's Viktor's time to shine, I guess.
Here you go.
Oh.
You're gonna play on hard mode.
You can play with in your creation.
I'll probably ease up my hard mode a little bit.
And
wait a minute.
you're changing the I see.
I don't know if it will help.
I mean, it might if you have your own settings as you comfortably would like them, then that's great. Meanwhile, while Viktor tweaks his settings and probably gets into the Outlands, there is this huge question. Well, it's not huge, but it's an extensive question which I'm sure Tony would be very pleased to respond to. From Honorable Bandits. Would love to learn more about the process of creating the cassettes and lore. I was very impressed with how it all tied into real-world events. It gave it a more grounded and immersive feel. Can you discuss the process involved?
Oh, wow.
That's
actually a very nice question, but it involves a very detailed answer, right? So it's going to be an extensive answer because it's not something I can talk about in like 1 or 2 sentences, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. So we knew from the beginning that in this update, in Vigor Chronicles Reckoning, we wanted to do cassettes. We knew that, we knew that we also had to do it because in the previous update, there was no cassettes in the update, and the only kind of story that we got to tell was from the trailer itself, which wasn't much. So we were like all hungry to like, okay, let's do cassettes, like let's give them a nice story to listen to and everything. And then we had a few like hiccups with budgeting and timing. So unfortunately, like we were feeling this like pressure from time. And in the end, we decided that we're gonna do it internally. So we're gonna try and create it ourselves. So what happened was I wrote the script for the cassettes. And we knew that we wanted to do like a smaller batch of cassettes. We wanted to do less than 10, but still manage to put in there like an impactful story that it can, you know, leave a bit of an open ending for the future as well. So we wrote those cassettes. I did the voice acting for that character in the cassettes, and we knew that we wanted to do something more grounded, something more realistic, because it seems to resonate with people who like listening to the cassettes. They seem to resonate more with these like more grounded stories, more like humane and like something that ordinary people might have gone through, right? And what we also wanted to introduce is kind of like a linear sequence to kind of see how things progressed, how events changed, and ultimately leading up to, you know, the thing that left Norway in the Outlands, as we now know. So we kind of did a research. We said we have these events. So it was the Chernobyl disaster, the Berlin Wall, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and then a real-life event involving 2 U.S. warships that were passing through the Black Sea into Soviet territorial waters, and it caused a bit of an issue, but it was de-escalated. so we thought that was a nice event to hook into and create that alternative timeline that Vigor is based in. And from that event, slowly telling the escalation and how it happened, all the tension rising in Norway and especially around the border. And then, yeah, leading up to the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was like a really delicate, intricate, difficult, but fun as hell process to do. And for voice acting, yes, Anjanette, you also did a bit of voice acting in there, didn't you? Just a tiny bit,
just a small amount,
just a little bit. So yeah, Anjanette did the voice for the reporter, bringing the news from a TV broadcast, and yeah, like. I'm really happy that people seem to like the story and that it's more grounded and much more real in that sense. We're really happy and we're really excited that people are enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. We've actually got some people in the chat saying that they haven't listened to a cassette ever, which my question would be why? Go ahead, it adds a bit more of an insight on what's going on in the Outlands. It's not just all about killing, there's actually something deeper in there than you think.
The cool thing is like there are now like what four sets of cassettes basically that you can collect and listen to, and the stories are really really amazing, and it's a really fun thing to be able to do, to introduce this kind of lore through this sort of medium.
And I just wanted to quickly jump in because some of the players in the chat are saying that they could enter a map with a weapon but without any ammo. We're sorry about that. That's probably something that hasn't happened before this most recent update. So if you do, if you can tell us what weapon you were using, which map, which console you're playing on, it might help us out. Even a clip would help, you know. We might see some things that you might not deem to be important, but it would be vital for us to know. So you can send it over to us on our social media, and we would be more than happy to report it to the team so that we can work on a fix. Alright. Let's see what else the chat is saying. Okay. Well, there are questions about constant lags and server issues and instant headshots from new players. Are there improvements instead of just excuses? Well, if you would like to check out some of our changelogs on our website, it would probably help you give more insight on what's going on behind the scenes. Although we have to say that there is way more going on behind the scenes than what we put out, because for example, we end up catching way more bugs before the updates are actually released. So there's that. And with the constant lag and server issues, we're really sorry. Are you playing with your network stats option on? It will help us understand if it's something, like we're always working on server improvements, but it's worth knowing if it's something that you can also tweak on your side, like playing with a wired connection instead of playing on a Wi-Fi. So yeah, if there's constant lag and server issues, we're really sorry, but we would definitely like to look into that a bit more with your help, of course. And as for instant headshots from new players, well, it's not a lie that players jump into this game with experience from other shooter games, and they might even be Vigor players who wanted to start all over. So.
Yeah, there's instances where a skilled player just like decides to create a new account, start from scratch again, so it's kind of easy to mistake them as
like a new player.
A new player, and he just getting like a gazillion headshots just because he's new. Like, that's really not the case. We've said it before. There's like no newbie assist or new shield, like nothing.
For them, no.
There's nothing, guys. I mean, the only thing is they get 10 encounters with people on the same level, and then you're just matchmaked.
Yes, indeed. And we do have well, it's kind of a bug report, but not really, from iGooly. Ever hear of an invisible player in elimination? Sorry if you did cover this, working and lurking. Well, thank you for the lurk, but we didn't cover that earlier on today. Didn't hear of an invisible player in elimination per se. If you could send us a clip, that would be great on social media. It would also be helpful if you had your network stats option on, so we can understand if it might have been caused by latency on your side, or maybe even the player's side, which map. And it will really greatly help us if you send over a clip either on our social media or even to our partners, as they're very helpful in terms of reports from the community, actually. So, yeah. Alright, I'm pretty sure there were more questions about the cassettes as well. Well, this isn't the question, but someone says that they listen to the tapes to fall asleep. Maybe the nostalgia of how tapes sound like helps them out.
It could be. Like, there are some cassettes that are more, like, calm and gentle. I can see that happening.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. And then there's also a quick question about crafting queue. Can we get, like, a crafting queue? We aren't planning on it right now, but we understand if players would appreciate such a feature. And it's not... Well, let's say that it's not ever... Players have brought it up before. It's not something that we've never heard of. So it's still an idea that we have on our minds, and we'll see what we could do in the future. And then there was also the question of instant crafting of consumables or instant crafting of weapons earlier on. Well, the great part is that you can instant craft weapons with parts.
With parts, which you get now from crates.
Yeah, well, more abundantly, let's say. And for consumables, like if you level up one of your shelter improvements, if it isn't the water distillation or the chemicals.
It's a wind turbine, maybe?
Or it might be the wind turbine. I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that. It might be the water distillation. But yeah, like leveling up a specific shelter improvement will actually help you out a lot in terms of crafting things. You could basically craft it instantly. All right, let's see. Okay.
One thing about the cassettes that I just wanted to kind of like point out in terms of like kind of like a hidden Easter egg, or not exactly an Easter egg, but basically how the cassettes tie in with the trailer. So if there's somebody in the chat who listened to the cassettes, right? There's a mention of a union at some point. And
I'm like, oh, small push, but like you're going at it. Yes, like.
Yeah, well, like that's kind of like the connection with the trailer itself. So we can say that the trailer is after the end of the cassettes.
Well, yeah, thank you for giving some insight to our players on that. And I briefly just want to check what the chat on YouTube is talking about. There is actually some confirmation that it is indeed the water distillation, which
nice,
which helps your crafting times, so that's awesome. Nice. And then there's also some love for the cassettes. One of our players on YouTube is saying, I like the cassette tapes, I really dig the extra lore.
Nice, awesome. We're really happy that you guys are enjoying it.
And now there's some question for Viktor, actually, because you brought up Easter eggs, Tony. So speaking of Easter eggs for Viktor, are there any Easter eggs in your levels that we Outlanders have yet to find?
Easter eggs. Like, I'm not sure if I would call it Easter eggs, like just some interesting spots. There are some things, yeah.
Well, maybe don't tell them, because now we got a message saying thanks for the spoilers, Dev. Okay.
So I can say in this new update there are some minor changes even to Myren shootout, like cosmetic ones, if you can, spot 10 differences.
Is it exactly 10 or is it
No, it's maybe more, but
okay.
There are small things.
Okay, all right. So hopefully some of our
I
I
crashed and now it's
That's all right.
Never mind.
That's okay.
Let's go Kirsten.
And I just briefly wanted to show the changelog again for those of you who might not be able to find it easily on our website. It's actually underneath the update 14.0 changelog. You just have to scroll down a little bit more. And we are seeing some messages on Facebook about the vote to kick system on elimination, and we have talked about it in the beginning. But we will rehash it again, that we understand that the system isn't necessarily being used as we would like it to be. There are some players who are using it in a different way than we would want them to, and we hear that. We're working on some tweaks for it. We're really sorry that people are abusing it, but you can be assured that with a future update, you will be able to see some changes regarding the vote to kick system within a future update for sure. The team is working hard on tweaking it behind the scenes. It's actually more extensive than you think, so we are working on it. All right, and the great thing is that Viktor was able to get into a lobby. And
by the way, this is like a deja vu, because I remember the last time we were together on stream, it was about Kirsten.
Yeah, it was about Kirsten.
So that's a deja vu right there.
The only goal not to be lost.
That's for me. That's like my
Yeah, but
my struggle.
Kirsten is rough. Yeah, Kirsten was. Yeah, it's I think much more fast paced.
It is super fast paced. But it's good because now we kind of have like an atmosphere for every kind of style of play. You got the fast paced, narrow corridor fights like in Kirsten. You got the open space, take cover and plan, be more methodical in Myren. And we also got Sagbrook, which is also, I would say, a little bit of a mix of both.
yeah, it's definitely the middle ground.
Right?
Yeah, like the different sort of proportions and sizes of the map. Yeah. This is sort of the linearity of Kirsten shootout. Yeah, it makes it quite a tough playground.
All right. Let's see. I don't have time to waste with Vigor clips. The game is broken. It happened today to all my friends, at least 10. Dot. Your game is broken. You play it. Dot. Thank you. Well, we're sorry to hear that you aren't willing to help us make some improvements. We actually heavily rely on our community to help us out because we wouldn't be anywhere without our community. But yeah, so without any clips or any reports, well, you have reported the issue to us, but it would be hard to replicate the issue without any clips or any detailed reports. Like, it's a nice crumb to give us that you enter an encounter or a match and you have no ammo, just the weapon. Okay, but we need more information than that if we want to be able to resolve it as soon as possible. So we would have appreciated your help, but we understand if you would rather not. I guess it's a bit of a shame, but...
Fair enough. I mean, like, the clips are one of the easiest ways that can help us to just get to the problem faster. It just saves a lot of time for everyone. So, like, if members of our community always, like, bring up an issue and they provide it with clips, that's, like, already such a...
Big help.
Big help, yeah. So that, you know, our QA doesn't have to, like, start from scratch.
Yes, and like play around with many conditions on how to replicate the issue, because we actually, a lot of times I think our players don't realize that in order to fix a bug we actually have to reproduce it ourselves so that we can see the technical side of things that our players don't see, and then that's when we are able to try and think of a solution to resolve the issue.
Yeah. And sometimes things are just like a little bit more complicated, you know, like to reproduce it, you need to have these specific elements, just like, you know, something is like very specific, something is more generic, but like there's always like different parameters.
Yeah, I mean, one of our players is saying, game is broken, but half the players play on potato internet and blame the game. That is a...
That's a statement.
Yes, it's a statement. Opening crate crash, just opening crates, that's all. Which crate, though? Is it a military grade crate, special issue? How many crates do you have? What console are you playing on? How's your internet like? See, there's like all these questions, and I bet it's not even all the questions that our QA has to think of before reproducing an issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough, but we're trying really hard. We're doing our best as a small team to make improvements, and we still really appreciate the help that we get from our passionate Outlanders and our passionate partners as well. So, just some insight on how it works behind the scenes. Okay, let's see.
By the way, somebody asked before if you like Ninja Turtles.
Oh!
I've definitely watched them as a kid, but yes, sorry to disappoint. No really special affiliation.
Yeah, just watched it as a kid.
I know about them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes, words. Our chat on other platforms are still talking about the cassettes that they really like them, so there's that. Okay.
Okay, so chat, tell me, what was your favorite cassette out of all 7? So I would like to see what the chat thinks about this. So let us know what your favorite cassette was. And yeah, speaking of 7 cassettes, some people actually asked
Yes.
if there's gonna be like more cassettes coming, because we just published 7 cassettes instead of like the usual 10 or plus extra that we used to do. For this season, it is the 7 cassettes. We don't have at this point any plan to add more, but you can wait for the next set of a story that will come to your way in a future update down the road, definitely.
We have one of our partners saying that his favorite cassette would be lines read out by various partners in different accents from around the globe. Actually, this would be interesting because our partners, some of them, including G40 Chris, have been playing with the idea of having partners record some lines for us for cassettes. What would your take on that be, Tony? If the partners are up for it and we get enough people and... But it's also like a lot of planning. Where are they going to record it? Are they going to fly over to Brno? Yeah.
Well...
Because we usually do in-house recordings, right?
Yes, we have our audio team, amazing team, and those guys, we usually go to their office, we record the lines over there. They have like professional equipment, obviously, so it's not just like, from the phone record and send it over. It doesn't actually work like that. But I think we would be open to the idea of discussing it if it's possible first. And if it is, then
we'll see how the ball gets rolling.
Yeah, but me personally, I'm all up for it.
Yeah, it would probably.
I think it would be like a very nice little tribute, and we could definitely have it as a bonus cassette in one of the future updates.
Perhaps. And we do have a statement about how this stream is not necessarily the best and nothing gets fixed, and they talk about irrelevant stuff. Actually, we had it planned that this stream would be based on how Myren was made and how the cassettes are like, but we did talk about a few bug fixes towards the start and also towards the middle of the stream. You can check out our changelog for update 14.1 and also other previous updates on our website. If there are any pressing issues which we can fix, please let us know. Please report it to us. We are aware that the vote to kick system is not that great right now because players are abusing it and using it in a way that it's not intended to. Just so you know, we are working on a fix for it. It's gonna come in a future update. We actually only have 1 minute left, which...
Wow, that went by fast.
Yeah,
Did you get any practice?
But
Where are you?
I guess we can wait until Viktor ends the shootout before we end the stream, because there's only 2 minutes left. It's fine. I like how
got a
Viktor
frag on you?
is. Well, but Viktor is waiting for.
No. I'm looking for frags. I didn't get any frags.
Okay.
Kills.
He's.
Dude,
Come on!
come
I didn't see any.
Well, someone from the side came along as well, so there's that. All right. Okay. I loved the news broadcasts, the horror in the voice when you hear the sirens and the bombs dropping.
Oh,
Brought
yeah.
chills, not gonna lie. As someone who grew up with the fear of nuclear war overhead, it was more emotional than I expected.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the kind words. And yeah, we actually we found real life news events related to those events, especially the Chernobyl incident and the fall of the Berlin Wall. We basically found actual broadcasts from that time, from those days, and we tweaked them just a little bit. But
For our narrative.
yes, for our narrative, of course. But yeah, like most of it is like research based on real broadcasts.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so.
But yeah, that moment, yeah, when the sirens hit, like that moment, when I heard it the first time, when it was like post-processed, it got me as well. I was also kind of like, oh man, chills.
Yeah, I remember when you gave me your headphones and you were like, listen to this.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all.
It was chills. It was legit chills.
Yes, indeed. All right. So the shootout will end in around 15 seconds from now. All right. Let's see. Oh. We've got some suggestions about the pop-ups for the daily discounts, or daily store pop-ups. Could you please stop with the daily store pop-ups? It's just another annoying thing to post before we can start the game. I'm all for daily discounts, but can they be kept in the store? Well, thank you for the feedback on that. We will discuss it with the team. If it is causing players to get a little bit cheesed off or a little bit annoyed, then we can discuss it for the team to improve it. Okay, let's... Well, we actually already ended. The shootout.
Yeah.
Big rip. It's okay. They got nothing on you. You made you did an amazing job with Myren, and no one in the chat can top that. So nice, just flexing for you, Viktor.
It's alright. Like I did my best.
Yeah.
The gameplay.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right. So that's about it for today's stream. We briefly touched upon how 14.1's release went out. We did talk about how we are working on the vote to kick system. We are asking for your help with bug reports. Please do send us some clips. It will help us out a lot. And we also discussed how Myren was conceived with Viktor. We discussed the lore and the cassettes with Tony. That's a really big wrap up. Oh, and also how like partner applications, yeah, we've been looking through that and we will try to get back to more people towards the end of this week. And yeah, I think that's about it. It's like a huge, really small TLDR of what happened. Would you like to say some final words before we head off for the evening and wrap up?
Yeah, like, thanks, obviously, everybody for the support that you're giving us. Thanks for sticking with us and for your dedication. We are trying our best to, constantly maintain the game, push out the fixes, and address the stuff that needs to be addressed. Just be patient with us, and we're gonna get there.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Viktor.
Thanks for watching, guys. Keep enjoying the game.
Yes.
Fun.
See you in the Outlands.
See you, everyone. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.